Hello, and thank you for listening to this tutorial on setting up users and passwords. Um, as with most companies, you probably have multiple people that will perform various functions in your QuickBooks file, but you want to be able to restrict and control access to those users within QuickBooks. To set up additional users and control their access, you simply go to Company, Set up users and passwords, and from here you can set up new users, change your password, or purchase additional licenses if you require if additional licenses are required for user access. We're just going to do a set up users. When you first established your QuickBooks file, you automatically created an admin login. From here we're going to you can either add users, edit, delete, view user access, and I'll show you this here in a second once we add a new user. If you want to get out of it, close it obviously, and you can also set your closing date here. We're going to add a user. It's Jim. It's going to be his user login name. Set up a password, confirm the password, and click next. From here you can set up an overall access for your new user. You can set him, or in this case Jim, to have access to all areas of QuickBooks, similar to an admin, selected areas of QuickBooks, or if Jim was an external accountant, you could select external accountant here. And external accountant, as we will talk about in another session, but that gives you all access to all areas of QuickBooks except for sensitive customer data, such as your credit cards. But we're going to give Jim selected access. Click next. Jim is primarily going to create and print transactions, and we also want Jim to have the ability to we're going to give Jim the ability to create and print sales and accounts receivable or customer transactions, and we also want Jim to be able to run some reports. So we're going to say selective access under sales and accounts receivable. We're going to give him create transactions and reports. So this will give him all the above access. He'll be able to create transactions, print transactions, and create reports. We do not want him to see customer credit card information. If we did, we could just select that there. Click next. We don't want Jim to have any access to the vendor information. So we're going to say no access here on the vendor or the purchases and accounts payable section. We do not want him to have checking and credit card information. We want him to have the ability to do some time tracking. So we're going to say create and print time tracking transactions only. Click next. We do not want Jim to have access to any of the payroll or employee information, so no access. And we do not want Jim to have access to any of the sensitive accounting activities. So we're going to say no access there. We do not want Jim to have access to sensitive financial reporting. And here is just a changing or deleting transactions options. Do you want this user to have the ability to change and delete transactions, the areas that they have access to? We want to say no in this case. If we did, of course, then we would say yes. And if you were to say yes there, should the user also have the ability to change or delete transactions where recorded before the closing date? Almost never do you want someone to be able to change and delete transactions before the closing date. So click next, and then you will come to a summary of Jim's access. And it's very easy to read and understand. For the sales and accounts receivable, he can create, he can't print, and he has reporting capabilities. Nothing on purchase and accounts receivable, nothing on credit cards. He does have time tracking access. and so forth. Once that's done, you just click finish, and now you will see that Jim is a user in this QuickBooks file. Again, if you want to view access, you can just click on the user that you want to view access for, click view user, and it will bring you back to the view user access screen. It's that simple. Now, in addition to admin, Jim now has access to your QuickBooks file. So if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. That is how to set up users and passwords in QuickBooks. Thank you.